In Massive College, I did business, which I had done all my life, and computer studies, which was very vague, and I improved in those. I found it very daunting going in first. I actually went to the wrong college, and when I went in, there were lots of younger people there, which also was daunting, and there were two about my own age. And I said, first, I won't do it. And then I said, well, if I don't, it is my loss. So I continued. It was a full-time course, 5 days a week, and we had exams at the end of them. There was great support in the college during our course, to the extent that we got very good teaching, and we got very good help before the exams. And we were told during the exams that we're quite confident of passing everything. Now that made a difference, because when I sat down, the last exam I did was my leaving cert, way back in the last century, and that was a daunting experience. But this was almost as daunting.
Well, at the start I knew that I would be doing the course with boys who had been and girls who had been in my own children's class going to school, and I found that quite daunting to go back to school with post-leaving cert students. But they were more than accommodating, I must say, and the youngsters were really fantastic. So after a while I found it much easier. At the start I said I would do as much or as little as I could do in the course, but by halfway into it I found that I wanted to do everything and I wanted to learn everything. And in that sense I found it challenging at the start, but the more I got into it, the more I found that I was able just as much as them. Yeah, as part of the course we had to do a fortnight's work experience, and believe me, I'm 30 years since I just sat in the classroom, but it's 25 years since I was at work, and every day was a learning experience as much as a working experience, and I think you would face back to work in a much more positive frame of mind if you did the course and did the fortnight's work experience.
I found going back to education was hard at first, but I got a lot of help from Dorothy Beamish and Anne Donovan. They were very helpful. And from the tutors, they're very friendly, down-to-earth people.
One of my big issues at the start was confidence. When I wasn't sure I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing, whereas previously I'd known my trade and I could do it. But when it came to accounts, I was under pressure then. But would say after being on the bookkeeping course, then I had a good network of people, like all of us, got on very well, and there's people I could pick up the phone and ask questions if I was stuck on anything. So it meant I wasn't alone.
Kind of after that was finished, then it was kind of, we had a few weeks of saying, will we or won't we, and we rang around a few people that we knew would be into health food and asked their advice on it as well, did a bit of market research, and then bit the bullet really.
Absolutely.
Decided, we'd go for it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I felt if I thought about the difficulties and didn't do it, well, I was going to stay unemployed as I was. So I just took it on the chin and rolled in and did what was required to be done.
I would think that you have to seize the opportunity and do the course, and if employment opportunities come along, you will be ready to take on board and to go out there and to apply for jobs that maybe you wouldn't be eligible for if you hadn't done the course.
I found, that I was better than I thought I was, and it just was more or less having the confidence in myself that if you think hard enough, that don't be scared not to say that you can't do something, because if you let yourself go and say you can't do this and you can't do that, that's when it starts affecting you.
The main thing would be to find some group that you can relate with other people. So whether it be, for me it was a parent and toddler group, but if you're 20 years of age, if it's the youth cafe, if you're an older person, if it's some sort of a group that, gardening, a book club, so go to the library, find out in your resource centre, go and find out what's on in your area. And then maybe, once you do something like that, that you could do some volunteering in a group, when you build your confidence, because it has to be about you first. So finding something that you'd like to do, and that would be my key message.
I would say to look away from the obvious, because back in December 2008, construction jobs were gone, and would say any of the previous fields I'd ever worked in, there was nothing there. So it was time for something fairly drastic, and that was the biggest thing, that I looked outside what I had previously done and what I'd been comfortable in, and saw something else that I could do.
Well, market research.
Absolutely, yeah.
Talk to people, and discreetly, we did it very discreetly, just talk to people and just ask opinions on it, because the people who, like, if it's a shop or anything like that, your customers are going to be your bread and butter, really.
Absolutely, yeah. And you kind of have to have an idea of what you're talking about. Do you know what you want to do? You kind of, need to know what you're talking about.
We've heard some very moving stories today from people who face many challenges, from retraining, building their confidence, getting back into employment and setting up their own businesses. Every one of us needs support at some stage in our lives. I think from the stories we've heard today, one of the key messages is to ask for help, and that there are opportunities locally that we can all avail of. To finish, I'd just like to say, there are opportunities and supports available locally. Please feel free to come into Dunmanway Family Resource Centre to find out what support is available. Or to contact any of the organisations that have been involved in this video today. Thank you very much.
And they were more than accommodating, and they were really nice, the young people. And I found that if I helped them with manual stuff, they were more than willing to help me with computer stuff. So by the end of it, we all helped each other, really.
It was quite a long time since I got any training, back maybe about 15 years ago. So it was strange coming back, but it was worth it.
It built my confidence. I had no confidence being at home when I was alone with the kids, and it just gave me a sense of worth for myself. I was Fiona again, as opposed to just being mum, which was hugely important to me. And so we all benefited from that then, because I was happier, which meant that the knock-on effect then, we were all happier.
And confidence, I suppose, really.
Yeah.
To have confidence in yourself, because if you don't do that, if we didn't kind of say, well, we're good enough to do it, we wouldn't have done it at all.
You have to take a chance, really. You really do have to take a chance.
Don't feel that your world has come to an end. I thought that initially. Think what you can do. Think of the possibilities. Go through a bit of humiliation, like working with younger people and being told what to do after all your years telling people what to do. And just take it in the chin and go for it. It won't be easy, but there are easy times as well.